The chopper.
You know how when you used to go to the church and the pastor used to do this?
Yeah.
Because you know he about to cook.
Take him to church. No.
So listen, man, this segment is about, the title of this segment is I don't want to be a nigga anymore. And it could be ambiguous. You can look at it any type of way you want to look at it. However, I'm going to give you, you know, a better outlook of what the title actually means. So today's episode is titled, I Don't Want to Be a Nigga Anymore. And it's not just a statement. It's a declaration of growth, redemption, and power to evolve beyond the streets. The stereotypes and scars and all the things that we go through, that transition, which requires you to not be a nigga anymore. So, my guest today, my brother. Oh, man. AKA Plain Gang Mike, Uncle Mike, Main Street Mike. He done lived many lives, many lives.
Yeah.
From surviving the hustle, club promotion. You did, he was a club promoter. You still promoting?
Well,
We gonna get into it. I ain't gonna let you go yet. I ain't gonna let you go. And becoming a respected entrepreneur and an owner of multiple restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
So, with every level in life comes, different devils.
Mm-hmm.
The devil gets stronger the higher you rise.
Yeah.
Hate. We got social media out right now.
Mm-hmm.
Trolls, which is crazy. We're gonna get into the troll thing. That's wild. That's wild. And in attempts to tear a black man down, this conversation isn't just about the struggle. It's about the rise. It's about the breaking the cycles and reclaiming your identity. And today we want to shine a light on my brother, PGE Uncle Mike, and give him his flowers today. So we're gonna get let's hear this crowd, man. And man, y'all gotta enjoy some of this. Oh, no, you can't hear the music, Teddy. Because this right here is only a portion. They only getting a portion of this. They're gonna have to go tune into the link once this is all said and done. So first we want to start out with identity and transformation. So with identity and transformation, from your standpoint, without me giving my standpoint about what pops in your head when you hear, I don't want to be a nigga anymore?
What pops in my head?
Yeah.
When I think of the concept of not being a nigga anymore, is the moment when you reach male manhood.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you haven't understood what it takes to be a man, you okay with being a nigga.
Mm-hmm.
So that's from my vantage point.
Come closer to the mic, because we're gonna need you to. I know you're gonna be preaching today too. By the way, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
So, looking back with the version of yourself, and you was trying to escape. What version are you working towards to now?
Well, every day with me is growth. You see what I'm saying? And with growth come tests and trials. So the man that I've been for the last couple of years is a man that's on a mission to grow.
Okay.
On a mission to grow. So, yeah. I used to want to be the best nigga I could be. Now I'm most interested in being the best man I could be.
Best nigga, see? Okay. How did the street shape you, and how have you reshaped yourself since leaving the nigga behind?
Well, that's still a work in progress. That's still a work in progress. You know what I'm saying? And Shaitan, the jinn knows it too. So there's a strong pull on, you know what I'm saying? Like, let me see that nigga.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? I've been tested, bro. You know what I'm saying? But the streets, where I came from, and not just where I came from, but how I came through what I went through, it built me for this. You know what I'm saying? It built me for that transition from being that nigga to being that man. You see? So yeah, that's where I'm at.
So I want you to educate them real quick on something because you said Shaitan and the Jinn. So I like to make sure we get some education in here and there to enlighten some people, that might not be aware of what that is.
Yeah.
Who is Shaitan and what actually is a Jinn?
Well, for the simplest terms, for people who don't understand the names or terminology, Shaitan is the devil. And the jinn are his workers, right? Those are his workers. Those are workers that are assigned to the devil, right? So when Allah cast the devil out, he also he set him up. You know what I'm saying? Because God that big and that bad to where he like, not only am I more, since you think you that big and you that bad and you think you better than me, I'm gonna cast you out, but I'm gonna assign you some workers too. So
now it's good genes too.
That's why I said okay. I'm gonna assign you some workers.
Yeah, okay.
You see what I'm saying? I'm gonna assign you some workers too. You know what I mean? Now see what you can do. Now that's when you know you cold. That's when you know you God. When you're like, I'm gonna set you up over here, and you gonna be in competition with me. Let me show you that you can't win. You know what I'm saying? You and your workers, because these workers, they ain't all, these yours. Okay, you work with them. I'm going to show you how big and bad I am. I'm going to set you up with your whole little situation. It's going to be hot. It's going to be hot where I'm going to set you up at. But I'm going to let you work. And so the devil and the jinn is just that's the spirits, that's the energies that attack people. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes they attack people through other people.
So basically, the jinns, the devil has his own jinns as well.
Yes.
The jinns move around just like humans.
Yep. Entities.
Yeah, entities. It's something in here right now. You don't even,
They sitting down. They poking.
Yeah. They podcasting too.
Yeah. They like, man, look at them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but that's deep.
That's education,
that's
though.
Education.
So now we want to move towards redemption and legacy. So with redemption and legacy, you turned your life around in a major way, owning multiple restaurants, multiple businesses, and you're definitely a business leader. What's been the hardest part of that transition, though?
People. People. Just people. If you're doing very good for a long time and you come from a situation where you were doing very bad, then you have a lot of people that they don't want to accept that. People who know you, people who don't know you, they don't want to accept that. It's not because what you're doing is so good or what you're doing is like amazing. It's the fact that what you're doing is highlighting what they're not doing, right? So the more you do good, the more you highlight people who are not doing as well, right? And you don't have to try to do that. Just be. And that is enough, to get the pullback. And the harder you work at becoming a man, the harder you work at becoming instrumental in your community, the harder you work at becoming a leader, the more the people are going to work hard to try to take you down for that. You got people like in the industry, he's doing really well right now and everything like that. You got Mace. No matter how people want to put it and turn it, Mace was actually trying to work really hard to be something other than what he knew by being a preacher and, doing all the stuff like that. And I mean, the world was at him when he wanted to go be Christian and do all that. The world was at him. You see what I'm saying?
Anytime you get closer to God, the world gonna be at you.
Yeah, whatever path you take it. You know what I'm saying? Whatever path you take it, you'll eventually see light. So, not to even go too deep into the religious
Spiritual,
aspect,
yeah.
the spiritual aspect of it, but just to say, Muhammad Ali, he was when he had no problem when he was Cassius Clay. He became Muhammad Ali. He built over 170 mosques. And when people realized that they were putting money in this man's pocket, and then he was turning around taking that money and building up his community, they had to tear him down. You see what I'm saying? Like, the better you do, the more you will be attacked. If you come from a situation where most people expected you not to succeed, not to win, not to be on top of your game, or not to grow, then you will be attacked.
I got a piece for that. So when you really look at everybody that you named found a space to where they didn't get caught in worldly things.
Mm-hmm.
So when you worry about the judgment of people judging you and the opinions of others, that really is almost like a sense of manipulation. It's trying to manipulate you and cause a diversion in your path on your journey. Like
Yeah.
everything is all about a distraction here.
Yeah. Yeah. For a fact. Like me going through some trials and tribulations, attacks and all of that throughout the holy month of Ramadan, where I've done really well, you know what I'm saying? With everybody know that, man, this dude, Mike, he gonna raise his voice, you know what I'm saying? I've been able to control that, you know what I mean, throughout this month, until, the last 24 hours.
We're gonna get to
No,
that.
I'm just saying, right? So I say that to say, when you're at your best, you will be tested.
Facts. So with you saying that, we're gonna say we want to inspire some of the young men because they're gonna go through this too. What getting caught in this cycle, what would you say to the young man trying to break out of that cycle and of the streets and everything? To what advice would you have for them to avoid some of all of this adversity and things like that?
You're gonna face the adversities no matter what. So you can either start now or you can start later, but it's gonna happen, right? The sooner you start, the earlier you get past that, the more time you have to grow, elevate, become wealthy, become rich. Remember, there are more legal millionaires than there are street millionaires. Start now.
So I want you to speak directly to the ones that glamorize the streets because some of them feel as if the streets is the way because like social media and all the media is like highlighting the streets as like you can beat the streets.
These people that's influencing a lot of dudes today are not from the streets. Even if you from the quote unquote hood, you not from the streets. I'm from the streets, and I know people that's from my neighborhood who's not from the streets. You see what I'm saying? They from the porch. They was going to the rec center. We was on the block. You know what I'm saying? We was from the streets. They wasn't. Not to knock them. Yeah, they from the hood. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, they experienced some stuff, but they not from the streets. And it's okay if you not. I'm not knocking the dudes that ain't from the streets. I got a couple of people that I'm cool with today. We rock solid. They not from the streets, but they from the hood or they was associated with the hood. And that's okay. That don't mean they fake. You don't have to be a gangster to be real. You don't have to be ignorant to be real. You don't have to be, you don't got to shoot somebody to be real. You ain't got to sell drugs to be real. Being real is just that. Be real. If you're an athlete, be an athlete. If you can maintain a job, maintain it. The sooner you learn to maintain a job, the sooner you begin your journey of practicing discipline. The closer you are to getting rich. Like, these people that are promoting street life, they not real because the streets, people who are really from the streets, I'm one of them. No matter what nobody think, no matter what nobody know, the real know, the
Oh
real
yeah,
know.
yeah. People know.
I'm from the streets, bruh, right? And everybody that's from the streets, there's two people that's in the streets. It's the people that's trying to get out of the streets and the dudes that don't know the difference, right? But ain't nobody that's really from the streets that just was somewhere else and then jumped into the streets. It was the way things went. A lot of people is convincing a lot of young men to be streets or to get in them, right? And that ain't what's up, bro. It's not what's up, man. You ain't gotta go to jail to be gangster. You ain't gotta blast nobody to be a G, right? It don't even take aggression. For me, it don't. You know what I'm saying? If that's you, then be the best version of you. But if that's not you, then be a best version of that, yo. That's what I could say, man. I'm from the streets, and I condemn that. I condemn that. You know what I'm saying? When we was in the streets doing what we was doing, we didn't know no better. You see what I'm saying? So if you know better and you making a choice to get in the streets, you not gangster, you a fool. You're a fool.
Look, they needed to hear that part. Definitely needed to hear that. Do you feel like just during the time of when one of them young men becomes successful, what is it about people bringing up their past to try to bring them back to that space?
Crab in a barrel mentality is real. They've been stating this for decades. You know what I'm saying? It's real. Crab in a barrel mentality. When you make it out, the best thing you can do is don't look back, right? Because we have 50 current examples of the people who made it out and decided to look back and they got took down. You ain't, there's gonna be 100 people, there's gonna be 1,000 people, there's gonna be 10,000 people that make you feel like you a sucker because you didn't look back. But the people that count are the people that you looking forward to. You see what I'm saying? Because as you grow, the people that's supposed to grow with you, they're right there with you. And if ain't nobody there with you when you grow and you reach that height, then make sure you understand that those were the people that you had to shed. Period. Keep moving forward. The people that you want to be a part of your life or you want to be a part of their life, they're ahead of you. You see what I'm saying? Because anybody from back there, they're going to keep up. You see what I'm saying? They're going to keep up. They see you doing good, they doing good. They see you educating yourself, they either going to educate themselves or they're going to ask you for some of that education.
Brother.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because steel sharpens steel, right? If you left somebody behind, it's because they're supposed to be back there. If there's a shark in the water and you and your homeboys is swimming and everything like that, and y'all kicking water and everything like that, and you make it to shore, and they ain't make it to shore, there's nothing you can do about it. The shark got him. That's my man's. I love him from over here, but I can't go back into the water. And that's not being fake. Only a fool think that that's fake, right? Right? Only a fool thinks that that's fake. Now, if you can generate some type of capital or some type of system to give people the opportunity, then you do that, right? Nipsey Hussle died in his hood, right? Arguably, in my opinion, my argument, one of the greatest artists who ever entered the hip hop community, ever. You know what I mean? Several mixtapes, 1 or 2 albums, very young man, but amazingly impactful,
See,
right?
that's for one because he was actually what he was. You know, it wasn't no facade.
He was who he was,
Yeah.
right? But he wasn't supposed to be in his hood no more, right? You got
Going back
I,
to
I,
save the people that's about to be attacked by the sharks.
you already created something. Now you gotta let these people you create, you look out, you stay. You gotta keep moving forward.
They got to
You
do their
can't
work. They got to do
you
their
can't
work.
hustle and pray and grind your whole life to get to a position where you can get out of here. Then when you get to the position to get out of here, you go back. See, you went against your prayers. You went against your wishes. You went against your mind. You went against that natural energy. Feel me? And when you go against the natural flow of energy, is where you have what they call static electricity, right? And that could be explosive. And if it's internal, then it's implosive, which means it's going to break you.
Now you're dealing with depression, anxiety, and all those things.
And you got people that are mad. You got people that are possessed. You got people that everybody ain't special, or you wouldn't be special, right? Everybody ain't special, or you wouldn't be special. Me, I'm special. Me, I'm special. So somebody else that I know ain't. And it just is what it is. And everybody should feel that way. That's okay if you feel that way, because that's how I feel. I'm not going to not feel special in order for somebody else to feel complete, right?
Okay.
If you're special, then do special things. Separate yourself. From it, continue to grow, continue to move forward.
Now, since you said that, that was powerful, and that, like, I said, people need to hear that. They need to hear your voice speak about that. Now, I feel I'm special as well. So with that being said, you got to have a specialty to be able to, I don't want to say execute, but how do you handle trolls and hate and all of these things that are taking place today? With the special mindset that you have, what would be the specialty to handle this situation? What do you want to say to the trolls, the people, and all this chaos, toxicity, drama that's taking place amongst our culture?
Alley Burger, 26 North High Street, Columbus, Ohio, 43215. R&B Wednesdays, off the chain. Everybody loves Thursdays, game night on Friday, and every other Friday it's a comedy night. Black-owned business. Been in business going on 4 years, right? Everybody gets paid. Everybody has a great time. And shout out to Sovereign Brands, Bel Air. I am an official contract Black Bottle Boy, and Plain Gang Entertainment and everything that's under that umbrella. So hold on, you said what?
How do you what is your specialty to handle these trolls and this hate? I mean,
The
from what you did,
salmon cheesesteak is crazy. I
There
mean,
you
it's
go.
fire. It's a sweet Norwegian salmon that's on that salmon cheesesteak. It's not on any roll. It's on the Omarosa roll. I gotta order these rolls. You know what I'm saying? Right? They soft. It's flaky. The salmon cheesesteak is crazy. Right? The chicken tenders. Let me just tell you, the chicken tenders. They're not like some frozen chicken tenders out of the bag or something like that. They real tenderloins. We brine them, right? We batter them. We fry them ourselves. These is real tenderloins. So when we say we got a chicken tender, it ain't some frozen thing that you get to the kids. This is a real meal. 3 of these joints, you full. You know what I'm saying? And the beef is all Wagyu beef. You know what I'm saying? Every burger. Just think about this. When you grew up, the when you got the big burger at a restaurant, it was like a quarter pounder, right? Or you went to got a Big Mac, which ain't, you know what I'm saying? That ain't even that, right? These little thin patties. We got an 8-ounce patty. That's a half a pounder. The normal classic burger it's a mom burger. You remember when you was young, if you was raised by your mom or whatever, and you was outside, she said, come in and eat, and you got that burger, and it was just hanging off the edge of the bread, and it was a big boy burger. Yo, so when you get a classic burger from Alley Burger, you getting a mom burger. You getting Wagyu beef. You cut through that thing with a butter knife. It could be a plastic one. They that good. So I'm just saying,
you feed them.
I feed them, right? Everybody is entitled to their own opinion, right? and their own interpretations of their interactions. But when it comes to trolls, you have to first have an interaction in order to form an opinion. If you haven't had an interaction, it's very tough to form an opinion because that's called speculation and assumptions. You hear me? And you don't get nothing out of that. You feel me? So
Come
I
talk to me.
well the thing about it is I know Jay-Z,
yeah.
but Jay-Z don't know me. Right? So then I don't know Jay-Z. I only know
Of Jay-Z.
There you go. So
like,
I'm Jay-Z. And these trolls, they are who they are. They don't know me.
When you see me in the streets,
You don't know me.
you
You know what I'm saying? So, it's a lot of the trolling and stuff that goes on is laughable. You know what I'm saying? And it lets me know that I'm doing something right.
Facts. Every level, there's no devils.
When I was actually doing stuff wrong, and I done some wrong stuff. You know what I'm saying? Not no crazy stuff, because I don't do that. I don't do no, excuse me, if that's okay. Let me just send this message out.
We getting to the end of the show anyway.
Nah, we ain't got to end this. Let's go.
Let's
get to it.
We got 30 minutes? Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, we good. I thought, I was looking at the clock wrong. Yeah, okay, that's great. Oh, okay. We good. That's great. Because I don't want to spend too much time on a negative, part of energy and things. But I do want to say, I like how you feed the trolls and the hate. Because, I was reading something that was talking about how you don't add more fire to a flame. You got to find it's just not going to dissipate that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. What I could say is that, and I said this before, when you doing this good for this long,
you gotta get some of that. Yeah.
You gotta get some of that, bro. If you don't get none of that, bro, something ain't right. You know what I'm saying? Something ain't right. But by the grace of God, I'm blessed that any troll that's done popped up, these are people that don't know me. You know what I'm saying? They think that I'm just some guy that popped up out of the blue. I own, this business or that business or something like that. And, you know what I mean? And you could get away with that. But they don't know me. So, you know what I mean? I'm not extremely offended. You feel me? It's to be expected. You feel me? But if I had trolls and they knew me, they knew me. They sat down with me. They've talked to me. They've interacted with me. And those was my trolls, then I would be offended. But when somebody's trolling me that don't know me, they haven't had any interactions with me, they really don't know the man that I am, then it's laughable. Because it's like, oh, that's your perception, right?
Everybody's allowed their perception.
Yeah. So, it's a little hurtful, like being a real person and knowing that as much you do for people's families, as much as you do for people who's in bad situations, as many people as you give opportunity that other people won't give opportunity for, people giving people opportunity who got tattoos on their face, they got felonies, they got eviction, whatever it might be, whatever low credit score, if they've been fired from here, whatever it might be, they don't got a home at this time, or whatever it might be, that could prevent them from, whatever it might be that could prevent them from being employed and taking care of their children, you know what I'm saying? Take care of their household, taking care of their mamas, right? I give those people opportunities. You see what I'm saying? Everybody knows it. This is just a fact. But in the process of, and that's why you got to watch out sometime, because in the process of wanting to afford people the opportunities that weren't given to me, you run into some bad people. You see what I'm saying?
I got a question with that. Out of all the things that you seen with these trolls was posting and all of that and that, did you see anything that was true to an extent? From your standpoint of what you know of what you do in life, how you move, did you see anything that may have been true?
Yeah.
What?
Somebody said that they got fired from my restaurant because they didn't fit, basically they didn't fit the bill,
Okay.
right? And the thing about it is this person didn't fit the bill. But where it became false is when she said it's because of like how she looked or her size and everything like that. See, the fact of the matter is when you were hired, you were that size. When you were hired, you looked like that. So that can't be the reason why you were fired. The reason why a person like that was fired is because they didn't fit the bill because of their attitude. And if you have a poor attitude, you won't make it. You have to be lively. You have to be personable. You have to be okay. You can't think because at home it's cool to have a bad attitude that you can do that at work. That's not how work goes, right? So what was true is that she got fired because she didn't fit the bill. She didn't know why, but now she know why, whatever. No, you got fired because you didn't fit the bill, attitude-wise, performance-wise. You didn't fit the bill, so you got to go.
So, I was receiving phone calls, I was receiving DMs and all this, man. I was just like, it's crazy when they know that's your brother. Like, man, listen, we can't get the mic, but we can get to him. Let me see what's going on, man. Bro, what's going on? I said, man, listen, man. It's always gonna be chatter in the background.
Yeah.
There's always gonna be chatter in the background. And amongst our culture, it's like, it's crazy. So this is the thing about the nigga mindset. The nigga mindset, you don't have to be black, white, Asian. All of these different ethnicities can be a nigga. It's a mindset. And niggas attach themselves to toxicity, drama, competition. We can't never come to we can't come to an agreement to find a solution to where everybody win. Niggas be like you said, it's crabs in a barrel. Like, hold up. Oh no, I don't want you to win. I ain't figured it out, so you can't figure it out. Yeah. No, hold up. Why don't you just come holler at me?
Nah, it's not because it's not about like all this trolling that's going on now. It's not really about me. I understand, y'all. It's not about me.
It's been a lot of the women though. It ain't none of the fellas really ain't. You ain't really.
It's getting a page popping. You know what I'm saying? And the person to do. I mean, there's people on the internet with guns.
Hold up, man. You ain't messing with none of these women.
No.
So.
None of them. There's no woman that's on any of this that say I mess with them.
I mean, I ain't really even.
There's no woman with any of this that's saying I mess with them. You see what I'm saying? In fact, the main woman that's got all this stuff, like, the instigator, she says she's never met me. She didn't work for me. She don't even know me. I don't know this woman. Nobody that I personally knows her. Right? And so, and then there's one woman. Out of all of this, there's like 3 women on there that's saying something that have been associated with my business. You see what I'm saying? One of them is saying she ain't get paid, right? But she tried to come back and work for the business, right? Now she said she got her lick back. So what is your lick back? Is it creating this trolling situation or is it theft? Like, what was your lick back? What was your lick back? Right? But we're not gonna get into that because it's okay. You feel me? It's okay. You mad. You got fired. You're mad. I appreciate y'all taking it to the internet instead of doing some crazy stuff that some people do when they get fired. Like, there's crazy people out there, B. Right? There's crazy people out there that do crazy things when they get fired. I tell my managers, I say, first of all, let's remember this, right? I don't do no hiring. So if anybody got a problem with the hiring, they ain't got a problem with me. I don't do the hiring, right? But this is what I'm saying. I tell my manager, I say, remember this. And I tell any business owner that's out there to remember this. It's not about who you hire. It's about who you have to fire. Because the person you hire and the person you fire, even if it's the same individual, it will be a totally different person, right? So if you hire the wrong person and then you got to fire that person, oh, I've been saying this for years. Watch out who you hire because that's who you got to fire if need be, right? And now you got to worry about the character that you're dealing with. So, you know, the whole thing is I appreciate, you know, these disgruntled people or whatever taking it to the internet because I'm a man and I don't want to be a nigga, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the nigga who I used to be will react a lot differently than the man that I am today. The man that I am today says, all right, I get it. You know what I mean? Because there's no skeletons. You know what I'm saying? There's no skeletons in the closet. You feel me? I get it. Some people are mad. In fact, I think it might be some people behind these people that are mad at me. And if you're mad at me for whatever reason, right? Whatever's being trolled, we know is baseless. But whatever reason that you're mad at me, man, I apologize, man. You know what I mean? I might have raised my voice at you too many times. I apologize. You know what I'm saying? I might have kicked you out. I apologize.
It's a lot of, like I said, it's more our culture. And that's one of the segue because I don't want you to put too much energy into that.
Yeah, yeah.
But I want you to be able to help some people as far as what we can do. For one, as black women, what do you think black women can do in a space to be better for black men? And then I'm gonna ask you the opposite as far as black men can do for black women.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now, like I said, all the stuff is everything that's on there is pretty much a lot of black women on there that's shooting the shots. And I don't know, what do you think that they could do better at?
I think that overall, you know, I don't want to just blanket the situation. You see what I'm saying? So overall, when you really look at it in totality, our black women are doing amazingly well, right? In general, black women are doing amazingly well. Statistics show the level of higher education in a lot of our black women are skyrocketing, right? Our black women, you know, getting their just due in the workspace is growing exponentially, right? There's more black women now than ever that is breaking the chains of conditioning and coming into themselves, right? And there's a lot of black women from all different walks in life that support a lot of black men. Now, there is that militia that's still out there.
It's not the militia, it's niggas.
Mm-hmm. It's
so
the
you got
niggas.
black women and you got niggas.
Yeah. So the thing is, man, it's not easy, B, right? The real is it's not easy to break conditioning. If you're honest with yourself and you're in an honest space, you have to realize that it's not easy to break conditioning. And so when it comes to black women, there's a lot of black women on like the internet right now that's trolling, right? on that particular thing. Let me just say this, right?
You think
No,
they
no.
black women or they niggas?
Uh,
So it's a
them,
separation
them,
difference.
them nigga women.
Okay,
I don't
yeah,
know what they
yeah.
call
That's
it.
like I said. It's not a gender. It's not a
Because
color.
I don't want, because some people, we understand what we're saying, right?
Yeah.
But it's somebody that might hear this or view this that really don't understand what we're saying. So I want to be, you know what I mean,
Bring some
as
clarity to
clear as possible. Like, it ain't like, oh, no, it's, you know what I mean? There's some ignorant people out there.
Yep, that's it.
And when we say ignorant, not the sense of not knowing, but the sense of knowing and not caring, right? You gotta care. Black women, black men, whatever. Today is the day where you gotta care. You know what I'm saying? You gotta care about other people because there's somebody else that's gonna have to care about you, whether you want it or not, whether you like it or not, whether you need it or not. We are humans, right? We're social creatures, right? You gotta care, and you gotta care, and people have to care, right? We gotta care about each other. You know what I'm saying? We can't. You know that there's a dude at a bar, restaurant, whatever, hotel, whatever, up in the Short North area, right? That was accused of some wild stuff, like on tape. You know what I'm saying? Doing some wild stuff. And still we got a lot of these people that would just run to their place. You know what I'm saying? There's no post where there's 700, 800 comments and shares about this guy. He's white. It's not a coincidence. He's white. But then you got some, you know what I mean? And you got all of this, you know what I mean? And that guy's black. And how often does it happen? How often do we try to tear down each other? But then we look for people who's built up. And we look for people who's not scarred. But it's hard to not be scarred when it's your own folks, it's your own people that's trying to take you down, right? Why? Because it's something to do, or it can get my page popping, or I'm just having fun. You having fun with, someone's likeness. You having fun with somebody's livelihood. You having fun with somebody's children. You having fun with somebody's parents. You having fun with somebody's business. Like, that's not fun. You know what I'm saying? But as long as you are ignorant and don't care to know, then you won't. So it's not, I don't want to, and I'm hearing what you're saying, right? And we could touch on that, like in a,
I mean, you explaining exactly what it is.
yeah, but I want to, like, we could touch on like the issues with our women, our black women, and the issues with our black men in a different context, because I don't want the people to miss the message because of the context. You know what I'm saying? And the message is, in totality, we need to do better, right? We not only need to circulate the black dollar, but we need to circulate black support. We need to circulate black love. We need to circulate black education, right? And that's, be it men or women. It don't matter if you're from the hood. It don't matter if you woke. It don't matter if you're from the suburbs. If you are black, African American, or whatever you identify yourself as, we need to circulate these things in order to grow, because our children are growing in the climate that we're presenting. Don't be so fast to tear someone down, because tomorrow it might be you.
So what you saying that, I'm watching, we always searching for information, watching podcasts, watching shows. I try to watch as much as positive things as possible. It seemed like the message that you just gave, it's been given. It's like, you hear it, but the question is, why isn't it being taken in as at mass production? Like,
well, this is the ABCs of growth, right? This is the ABCs of growth. Would you agree? What I'm saying has been said before, but these are the ABCs of growth. This is growth 101.
Foundation.
Right? So if we understand that, then we also have to understand that when you were a child and you were taught your ABCs, they ain't just teach them to you one time. Y'all came in, y'all said it every day. Y'all said it multiple times a day. Then you said it again. Then the next day you said it again. And eventually, you know your ABCs. You know them so much that you don't got to use them no more. You see what I'm saying? Right? Because you simply know that C comes after A because it's repetitive. The ABCs of growth, the foundation. This, what we're talking about, is the same situation. It's repetitiveness. No one is, I ain't gonna say no one, but people at large are not gonna just get it the first time it's being said.
It's not due to the fact that the way the world's set up right now. The world is set up to where there is no accountability and there's a bunch of victims.
Hello?
So, like I'm saying, like you could repeat it over and over again, but if somebody hears a message, or if those same people that we're referring to see somebody else's account that has a microphone, all they have to do with agree with their mindset, and that will turn them into maybe a victim. They feel like someone's doing something to them, or they can't even be accountable for their wrong.
Yeah.
So you can preach to them and preach to them, but all they got to do is go back to them group of women or whoever group of men, and as long as them people agree with their side, they won't be accountable.
I read in a book that it's innate for a human to be validated, right? Innate meaning it's like it's nature, it's automatic. Humans, black man, black woman, white woman, Asian, whoever, humans innately have a desire to be validated. So with the invent of
Definitely.
the social media, everybody can go and get their validation. There's some of these trolls, right? We got a young lady that's been trolling me for a couple of days, right? I don't know this young lady. She don't know me. But with as many views, many shares, many comments that she's getting, she's at home somewhere knowing that there's no basis to what she's talking about, but she feels validated. So she's wrong. She's absolutely wrong, right? In her attack and in her approach. But she's right in her feeling inside to desire to be validated, right? It's humanistic, right? And so we just have to know that, yes, as a human, to some degree or another, every human wants to be validated. But there is good and bad validation, right? So once we get to breaking it down, and we started breaking it down to its smaller, to the single iota, then we get to understanding that, okay, all right, I have a desire to be validated. But today, I don't want to tear someone down in order to build myself up. I actually want to do something good to build myself up.
Hold on. Emergency phone call.